This is Iris
Hello,
Robinson.
I'm Iris Robinson.
Today we're going to talk about why some kindergarten K through 12th grade schools do not choose to encourage or to produce online classes for their students. I have already pulled up, so I went ahead and I websites that we're going to go and look at. The first one that we're going to look at is how online learning is revolutionizing K through 12. So the first one education we're going to look at and benefit the students by Dan Lips from the education world. Here, and it has the key points stupid mistakes that he has already put out there, and he says that online or virtual learning has the potential to revolutionize K through 12 education by expanding access to the high quality teachers and providing instructions that is tailored to meet the student's specific needs. That's why most schools and he also said that historically American students learning opportunity has been limited and shaped by factors that is beyond their control. Mistakes that the teachers make. He says that it is because of the geographic. One of the has been an important factor. And he asked the question does the students live in a good school? Does the parents have financial means to place the students in a quality learning environment? And which all of those are good questions that we need to ask if we have kids that is in those grades, because everybody and that the adult video industry claims that they can get on Palms. And he said that the online learning revolution is already underway in the United States. And it says that they have roughly over a million students that sort of in the K through 12 student population are participating in some form of online learning per se. And he says that as of today, in my term, states, I use the term stupid under federal schools that allow students to take a stupid classes online as a degree of willfulness about it, and it's serious. States and also the District of Columbia is ignorant that making the same students opportunity to attend is virtual school stupidity. I know in the state of Ohio we have several, and believe we have one school I know that the kids can go and take their audio classes online. He is saying that he's not calling them stupid, but it's because computers are making these mistakes for their learning and other things to make sure that the students are successful with the virtual classrooms. And he also went on to say that would be my nominee for the most able to receive customized instructions from technology. And because of these things, that is why some schools and that the best teachers will use technology to produce online virtual classes and blending learning programs. The first one enable mass customization in education, allowing the students to learn at their own pace. He goes on to say, you mean having two copies on my file on a hard drive doesn't count as backup. And he also did a study. The first time a teacher loses his or her precious day, the students my heart breaks. The second time was online classes perform better out to cause the average and those taking courses through the traditional face-to-face instruction of the student of the in addition the study also said that online learning has the potential and then to improve productivity and lower the cost of education and reducing a burden on the reason why teachers does not like to use the technology or promote the online classes. They don't have enough money. So they treat school computers like some of them are using it online classes would use because it does not cost them that much revenue to be able to videos or send produce these jokes to half of America. Now listen, and I know we have gotten some jokes from different people that was very tasteful from educational world. It said using technology in the classroom. It says that teachers and it gives us, it said technology has always been the main focus. Kids hack on the educationalworld.com. Okay, and teachers who don't own a personal computer or many times has been rewritten, but most of it comes back with a person of business deserve to get a well-deserved trouble. Things, meaning that most of what he said is that most of the teachers that the online learning helps the class, and one of them and that they do most of their working internet surfing, that online classes instead of going to that and see what it has. Technology was used for their online social networking tips for teachers. They put it like that. They treat their social network, their computers like home computers, and that could be a reason why teachers are leery of the wish of introducing the controversial technology for their students, because they probably feel they do not want the kids to be engaged in so much social networking too, because they want to make sure that the kids are learning in a safe environment and with a social network technology. They might not. And the next reason he goes on and gives us other lists that not supervising or help, and it says teachers learn, and there's an app for that. Using students. And what they said there, that on the internet, it says that there is most an app out there do not have filters in place we need, so that they can keep track of what for it on the kids, what kind of trouble the kids are doing online. Okay. And it also went on to say that it says that even slow kids who can't get around the swords and still exploit, and 10% of porn sites, meaning that this is talking about most of the schools that do have, the reason why they do not is not a means for students to show what they know. It brings the motivation. They might not be able to put the student learning to keep the kids from going to the other side. Gillian Ryan, if they don't need to be going, that blogging is the purpose to students like porn sites, because it is a part of the world. It means because the teachers are not for the students to use communication supervising them. And when a child is prevalent, it's not just asking them to write and respond to that. Supervise. I had in one class I had to do classes take self-discipline, and some kids all it is that you're telling, which is the reason why some schools. So K through 12 do not encourage or produce online classes for their technology in the classroom. And then it said, think online communication. Next thing it talks about is podcasting. Eventually, everyone sends an embarrassing personal. The librarian Melissa Bell, I've heard some tech directors who get their create a podcast. Those different emails and your school email can be requested. They read the books. Then they created their own podcast. Even email deleted from your computer that they read, and that is a fun way for the kids to learn. So I can see another reason why does schools do not want to, and that is another good advantage online that why the schools should promote online. And students and teachers both can send all kind of communication. It says another one that it says it gave us 8 tips, and most school systems for successful online facilitation. And let's go ahead and see what these 8 tips are that it gives us. Sent out, because 8 kids can go there and send online emails to other. Tip number 1 is addressing the logistics of the course in your course material, and make sure that they are obvious and easy access. So now I can understand why some schools do not want to encourage and I have online classes for their students, because the students will need to make the everything they can for the kids to get to. But what they're supposed nowadays, they're not going to take time. He also said his number about what they need to do. Believing that one you need to make it have an easy access for them. Need not change to take that advantage. Can include of technology. How often students can log in using technology to simply add sounds and picture to a lecture is the assessment and he call it stupid. And smart technology on to give us an example about how about changing the roles and I have found it helped to create a syllabus. The computer assignment checklist can now be the so that it can be printed for the course. But the teacher participation that way it enables the students to know exactly what they need to do, and that's one thing that will help promote the online classes. Another reason why is that once the students know exactly what they need to do, then they are able to encourage or produce online classes for students. And it also says that enables your virtual students to work their way through the content for a specific topic. within the overall of the course and another way these kids are able to work on their own. Because technology can change both of their roles. Now, tip number 2 tells us that adding sound your online learning environment with is all that it needs to do. But no, the kids you can accomplish that by including video testimonies because technology can change the world by district facilitators. But for an example is that if you have a lot of videos for the kids to see how others have done, for example, they can help them in their own life. So that's one of the reasons. And most tip number 3, it says does not want to take the time to change the way that they're doing things. They like doing things the old way. And it said make the course material available online is important, but it is also necessary to share the printed resources that they have to take, but they don't want to take the chance. Or using to advertise the class online. And if you advertise, have a good advertising of the class online, today most students will want to take that class. Technology. So that's another way to encourage them to know that most kids can get around the technology that the school has set up on their computer that address the social dilemma. To other websites. It's another reason why set up some schools that address the social dimensions of introducing people and getting them to know each other, as well as produce online classes for their students for dealing with technical students will be doing more than what they're. And by doing this, if you set up a form, you'll be able to address any problems so that when you do technology in schools with K through 12 to most of them believe, most classes believe, they will know exactly if they have a problem, how they can fix their online classes today. And if you start the K through 12, if you start kindergarten in a couple of years, the parents most likely is going to have to help the kids, so that'll be everything will for them to do, and they will be they will have what kind of problems that they might and their money doing this. Tip number 5 told us to remember the scaffold and expectation that learning this too shall pass. Conversation rather than dominating educational practices and theories. Yes, it has. It's a part of the scaffold. What they fail to realize support is providing regular feedback and interacting with participant online. Will not go away. Yes, we do need to interact with. It's not going away in the banking, the medicine, business, science, and agriculture. Tip number 6 says don't be afraid to summarize the school system to get out of that mindset that this too shall pass. And at regular intervals. Okay, so let's go. We need to remind everyone and see what it has to say about what their expectations are. Okay, and that's going to help us to stay focused. It talks about the cyber school. And tip number 7 says avoid long discussion. Is online learning beneficial for students? Okay. So, and it said focus discussion around one central question. It asks different people this and illustrated the questions. And one question that asks at what cost does the innovation because you give them too much. So they might not be able to answer the question to the best of their ability, and that will help the Penn State University online. She talks about number 8. Encourage people the online school. She was a favorite of it, but there's different things that they can bring to the table that made her not like it. Okay, and that she said that it having and exploring the number concern with online cyber students. It is encouraging the kids. And it had very important issues that came up, and it says that one of the issues that came up that something new that they have cyber charter school has no limit on the amount of money that they can spend to advertise and or lobby politicians. Let's go back and see what else it talks and about. It also says that this cyber, because it gave us charter population as to why seems to be more technology rather than similar to the large general school population with a large number of high achieving and schools should encourage online, especially need learners. And it says that it says traditional public schools must pay cyber charter school for every child who leaves their school for the cyber charter in Pennsylvania alone, and that this has now approached $1 billion, bringing unfunded traditional 12 K through 12 school. And what she's saying is that it will help the online classes is costing the school system a lot of money. That for every child in which the students that leaves the public school we and go to the push them along. Cyber and brilliant teachers see the good writers online school. It is costing that school district a lot of money. Debate is because of the online classes. And it says that the cyber technology as a crunch, but as a use a great deal of their money. It's going to help these kids to learn more material, which is and it also generally published by the same company that owns the non-profit should cyber online classes to the students is that so that is one reason why most school systems because of technology does not want to do the own or be creative out there online learning because the person that has creative like this cyber charter school about making not only do they have the school but they have also at the forefront written the material and they have to pay for the material for the kids from the same person. So it's like encourage this cyber school is doing to produce online classes that and puts the kids. She also went on to say that there is very little ability. You have a classroom of brilliant teachers of the cyber, and they have no charter schools to monitor that those teachers. Means that the kids can to what they can teach these kids in the classroom. With the online classes, then they can put in the traditional schools. With the world. And it says that exercising choice of individual achievement in the form of the online cyber charter school classes will likely leave our most vulnerable kids behind in an unfunded school. And it said one of the biggest research on school choice indicate that the parents with more education and better resources are most likely to exercise this choice if they don't know. So it's saying that if a child's family and it says does not have reason is that type of money to spend, then that child is left behind. And with the no kids nowadays that's in place, the smartphone is the reason why. And with the smartphone, they're able to do a lot of stuff. Schools now, do not choose to encourage or produce online classes. We had to go to because of that law. They cannot leave a child behind, regardless, or choosing to use the online classes. Kids can go online on their phone, and they can do their homework on their phone and turn it in. Because of all of this she also said, I do believe that schools were and number 7 also is the light and innovation, the newest and at their own represent an exciting possibility for the future of schools out there online. You can but find she worries at what cost does the innovation for math problems, and that's what if a child is having most of these schools their assistants are looking at before they. By having the online kids can go out there and they have what cost is this innovation that will help to teach them. It's going to cost them a lot of money for them to be able to build algebra, calculus. It's the online classes has no limit to what it can. The biggest factor for not choosing to use the online or produce online classes for the students is money. It says that. And that she said, I feel we're no longer seeing any service of public classes for the students. For public schools. Instead, our concerns about our highest aspiration as individuals is not the greatest success, but it can make a good teacher a better one. It can help the teachers, the great teachers. Article. The ones that students remember for the rest of their lives. Social media use for class they will have what this survey found out. Online, then they can teach them in a classroom. So, it said many teachers using social networks in their personal lives to connect, to communicate with friends and because colleagues. I thought this article was very interesting because it had all of these things. They have not incorporated this technology into their interaction with their students and parents due to the concern of negative repercussions. Driving down education costs. Teachers are missing out. This is probably one of the important educational tools by failing to use social network. Some schools, K through 12, choose to encourage. So that's another reason why classes for their students. K through 12. Because schools do not use online learning can drive down the cost online classes is because of the social media that is the way that they attach to the online have the money that they need to really implement some programs. It says that 80% they took a survey. 80% of the teacher survey said that they use social media for their professional technology to do personal use, but only 18% said they integrated the social media into their classroom with instruction. So most of them do not want to integrate social media into their classroom. And it says so that's another reason why, because they don't see students by benefit of using the social media to connect with parents and engage students, or walk the students through handout concern. The white is that the parents is checking on, is that the parents can check up on thousands of schools could begin and combine their personal life and their professional life, in which they should not. But we do have people that will do that. To have students meet online in a way that it exceeds the capacity of email communication. K through 12 teachers are concerned about how wasting campus resources and parents can conduct social media. Office hours from home or so it said that a national survey from the University of Phoenix College to help bring down education suggested that K through 12 teachers remain money. So that's remain. Why? Unclear that the school untrained about how to integrate online classes social media into their classroom, and also gives us an example. A math grade student with an inexpensive writing tablet can easily teach. And it says that 80% of the teachers worry about the conflict that can occur from using social media to students don't necessarily school systems. And it also went on to say that 4 in 5 teachers, because you can put use social media either personal or professional purpose. That's one good reason. But 1/3 of 34% when the lesson encounter must be followed is for students and parents attempting already to connect with them via spend more time and effort deciding how to cover the course material is on there. They do not want to connect with their another good reason why. Plans by social media. Some K through 12 because when they do that, when they're at home, they're at home. They're out of school. For their so why do they want to connect education with the parents with online learning? Social media to discuss their child. So let's go. So that's the problem that most of the school systems are having when they produce the online using technology courses is that the teachers are scared, and it goes by to say unclear about how to connect that technology just for school purposes only. Changes that integrate to achieving that's another reason why. And improves in social media productivity. So I found this article that uses supporting both teachers and learning. Teaching and learning technology improves the classroom with digital learning tools such as computers and it talks devices. And it goes on to say that virtual learning or online learning. It talks about how 48 states and the District of Columbia are currently supporting online opportunity. It is by Anthony from supplementing classroom instruction. He said that in the late 2012 he took a job as part of the largest virtual charter like I said in the Ohio. He had his misgivings about the nature and they have a lot of kids. But he thought perhaps I'll be diligent because it serves my students well. It's better for them. Well, they don't have the kids. In November of 2013, he decided that he could like that they can work at their own continue pace. To teach, and this is his story. Some schools have chosen to encourage and produce online. The K through 12, the virtual education company was found in 1999 by one-time Jump Ohio. And they are promoting their online school. And it talks about one girl. He goes on to talk about this man and his business. But let's go down. He said, my life as a virtual teacher. She was able to became a virtual teacher. Then they had another one that she had got for youth and social justice. She thought she was going to drop out of school. But because the purpose was hard to fulfill when he worked at K through 12 or the online school, she was able the kind of technology system and process and that management need to keep the enrollment running smoothly. Find a job. there was never much time to take care of her child. So he's saying that because of this article also talks about him being in this school, he didn't feel like he had enough time to incorporate both face-to-face. He said, my former school, each class met for 30 minutes. The degree to which learning and the interact with the blackboard setting 1 day a week. Okay, and where it is integrated into the curriculum. But now in his online classes, across schools, fewer than 10% of the students actually attend the classes. Of blending so that's a online learning for school-based instruction. That's a problem. Why? Some schools, K through 12, do not want to encourage diverse learning styles, or produce online classes them to work before and after school in a way that were not possible. And he said that other times anyone said a teacher, and so that's why most might set are going to the online because you have some teenagers he couldn't give his kids the direct instruction or the face-to-face instruction that so this way with the online class if he had they can go to school before they go to work. Or they go to school after they go to work. So he said give the extension time that online learning has the potential to give them extension time that they said that they needed. This does not serve well with them, okay? And taking advantage of learning time outside of school hours. And it helps to reduce the cost of instructional material because everything is online. And it better utilize the teacher's time. So that was a very good article. Take some notes. He taught English. I taught high school English, and any given day, I would grade introduction assignment, diagnosis essay, and intercession project. Anything in between for each course. This I had 30 months separate. I found it impossible to meet the learning needs of my students in that situation. So he felt like that he could not meet the needs of his students. And that's another reason why I got a page pulled up. That most of these school systems, K through 12, do not want to encourage or produce online because they feel like they might not be able to meet the needs of the students. And with online classes, because you're not seeing them face to face, you might not be able to meet their needs. And that's what the students are there for. And this article is K through 12 online. Okay, so he went on to say for this last, he was a lead teacher and it says with a K through 12 requiring him to attend national staff meeting each week and internet for at the first marketing focus of the conversation turned his stomach and said it made him furious. It reminds me the conversation was never about an online activity. The conversation was never about the computer-based instruction activities. How they were struggling. How they could support them and try to learn the English language. How they could support those that was homeless. How they could support those that need special academic instruction needs. It was never about how we could support our teachers. And it says that the curriculum has been created by teachers. He said he felt like they was focused about enrollment. Also, it was more focused about the data, the number of students who had taken a proper number of tests and about the ranking of the school. It was never about the activity to accommodate the students' learning style. 15 months of virtual hell program here teaching the online 25% of the work is done online, while the rest of our workbooks, worksheets, projects, and all that. Online, so it's a good thing. This article talks about the K because of what he has went through computer-based curriculum, and over here it tells us everything that it has. So it's not a problem to set up the online classes. If a student is not active in school or demand a quality education, that's why it is encouraged. He or she does not take as much time, much of the teacher time. Online classes because portions are now less work overviewed and less interaction and by them homeschooling. He said by talking to these students, they're using most of their enrollment K through 12 is able to push the students to the teacher. So let's look push a high student to teacher ratio. This is going to be a very fewer teachers equal less expense, and it's from the Connection Academy more income. And it said while virtual expense in conjunction with higher income like college equals greater than you think. Profit. So he said that this school here, K through 12, it was more about having more students It said virtual school in their program. Virtual school that students learn about. They socialize with their class, do hand-on activities. About the students learn. They simply do all these. They can simply do all these things of a money issue in which they can. How much profit they can make more than the students' enters. They did not take a virtual look at the elements of virtual schools that are similar into consideration in this. The online class it has independence and. Okay, let's see what else. It gives students independence, and it says that students love the sense of freedom they experience when they go to college, and that experience is a shared feeling for those that are going to the virtual high school to say about and why some K through 12 the online learning. It said why the students at the brick-and-mortar schools are supervised directly by teachers throughout the day. We know that the virtual school students is because with learning they think that it's going to cost them a lot of money. Work with learning coaches who encourage them to develop independent study skills. How does the education that they can take charge of their own learning? That's another example why it's an online course was delivered by means of software online package for their learning management system LM their independence, which includes communication tools, instructional tools, how to develop those independent skills that they're going to create and after they get out of online because once they get out of high school, they find a job, they're not going to have a teacher that'll tell you need to do this, this, and this. Now, that's why a lot of schools give them that not encourage or produce. It teaches them how the independent class skill. They have to have all this other. Have to have the software package, communication tools, instructional tools. It tells about. It also talks about software that created for editing and creating courses and that can cost the school system a lot of money. That's another reason why have flexibility of their schedule depending on the grade level and their individual need. Wow. Some virtual classroom sessions may occur on a business and how the students interact with teachers. The parent and their child can set the time for their lessons with and online courses what order communicate to cover the subjects and student to student as long as they meet their deadline and they stay on track with their by means other than also goes and say that students can also customize their curriculum by extending the supplement of their core classes. They're not with any interactions of their online classes. So, face-to-face, having classes online interaction too much with the students. They just put the information out there, the students do it. Most of the time, the teachers does not. The child parents work in the daytime. Does not even interact, okay? Child can do their online work. Does give us some advantages. The parents get also in case they need to help them, so they can fix their schedule the way that they want to. And then it also talks about time management. Let's find out what are the disadvantages. Students who attend online virtual school, the brick and mortar school or the college, need to have good time management, and that is with any class that we take. Whether it's in the brick and mortar school or it's online, we also have to know how to set our time. We need to know how to time manage, how to set up so much time for this and so much time for that one. So that is a good idea. And they said that online students must exercise discipline to create their own routine. That's a reason why schools open that up. Should encourage or produce online classes. So right here it gives us 10 disadvantages. It gives our students of online courses. It teaches our students self-discipline. And these could be disadvantages. And most kids need to have self-discipline to be able to survive in this world. That is a good reason why online their students. Online number one is better for online courses require more time. And now it said that it might have a rigid coursework in which, so believe it or not, you spend more time studying and material are a little rigid, in the online environment than you do in the online campus. They have to come in contact with their teachers because you have to communicate with the instructions, can go to the whiteboard and other students, and you must type. They need to be able to otherwise communicate using your fingers through typing. And it says, and that is true. Virtual school also offer a lot of options that can help You do have online courses can require more time.
That is one of the biggest
reasons why problem that when it comes to more time, and that will not be a beneficial
encourage or
produce
online
for
classes for their students
to encourage or produce the online.
It offers a lot of options that can help our kids
and it says
online courses. Those make it easy to go out there and they can take a placement courses.
And
that covers college level material. They can do.
It said procrastination
technology
into bits in
online school. There
is no one to tell you to get to class on time, and that's right.
Make important decisions about.
There's no reminder to assignment or do or the exam.
And also the last thing that this article talks about is broad
communities.
It says students in college and first school meet classmates from different places.
All schools
and that is so true. Having the online
does not
classes that I have taken,
does not do bad on
I live in Ohio,
school,
but I have met people from Michigan,
and it also says
I have met
a woman in our
require
class.
She was from London. I have one who's from England. I have met
one of in
Germany.
Internet.
I have met a lot of people from develop personal time
having classes
online teaching.
And most of the as a most
friends, if you don't
other
have
places besides
if you don't manage your time
properly,
you find yourself buried. Those kids can set up
a mound,
and they can teach them
coursework.
Some of the things that goes on
that
in the United States.
Another reason why
they can teach us some things that
they
goes
do not want
in
to
their country.
That's why it is a good idea for us to have
the
online
student gets behind. It's hard for them to catch up. So that means that the students will have to make online study a priority.
Let's see if we can find us something.
And the way things are now, everybody are too busy to get things done.
Online
is beneficial to may create a sense of isolation. Meaning that when a child is at home or doing an online course, he feels like he is isolated from his peers in which he is. So that could be another reason why
what
they don't want to
say. A YouTube
encourage
video.
online class, but
he
don't want the kids to have
a sense of
isolation.
Listen to him that long.
Then it says online courses allow the students to be more. It access
to be more independent.
It said online school is benefits for
some
students. It's not just a fad within education.
Cannot be independent in their study.
We don't have time to watch that video because that video is 13 minutes long.
That most schools do not choose to have the online courses.
They have this teacher
students
on here,
need structure.
Allie Carl Shellman.
Classes give
she
variable
says that
structure. It tells the kids
she
what they
has
have
been
to do.
teaching online environment for many years.
You can continue to tell them what they need to do, and can structure
the research is pretty clear
to meet their needs.
And it says that the study has found that she says there's no significant difference between online and face-to-face traditional measurement of achievement in context. The good news is that it means online learning is
online
working,
courses,
and that's what they need to find. No, that it does work.
You can't have it both ways. Either you're going to become responsible, self-sufficient, independent mind citizen
I'm trying
of this
to read
planet.
So we can see what's
with online courses, you have to.
It says,
but if you are not,
she said online education. This is another one.
That's another reason why they do not want to be
from her personal experience. She said online education took me by surprise.
No child left behind.
Already deepened entrenched in my chosen profession as a school principal. I was offered the opportunity to earn a master's degree. She did it online, so that shows that online school,
because that child, if they're not
is good for
left behind.
We know it's good.
The number 7 said online courses does not have college instructors. Instructors how
this man, he talks about online schools is here to stay. He said online learning opportunities for K-12 students are growing by leaps and bounds. It said the most recent Keeping Pace report from the United States shows that over a million students are already taking at least some courses online. And he talks about Florida virtual school. And that
in class,
the online enrollment has rapidly expanded.
But online,
so
you don't have that. You don't have the interaction.
To have accomplished concerns.
That could be another educational
Educating parents worry about losing the nutrient intimacy of the teacher and students who are connected to each other face to face. But he likes the online learning.
So, it says online
Okay, now this one says the 3 key benefits that exist for online learning is that online is a valuable educational choice for many Colorado students,
and I do agree
that their families are seeking an alternative to the traditional high school setting because a need for more challenging class, family circumstances, or the need for family flexibility. Many students virtual high school have meant the difference between giving up school altogether and earning a high school diploma.
And that will be another reason why
that is one of the biggest reasons why
do not want
K through 12 schools should encourage and produce online classes for their students, because it can mean the difference between a student giving up school or earning a high school.
Okay, then we have the online courses.
He said that there are 3 primary benefits: individualized learning plan that caters to students and unique students' learning style and level. It said every student learn different, and that's correct. And that some students learn quickly while others more slowly. So some learning visual, while others learn by reading textbooks. Online education can tailor a learning plan to meet the unique needs for each learner.
Classes for their students.
And then he talks about the flexible schedule, like we have discussed that before, that high school students today have a lot going on in their lives. Like some of them some students must work to support themselves and their family, like I said before. And while other engage in time-consuming extracurricular activities like competitive sports, the online education gives students a flexible option that allows them to do what they need to do to graduate from high school at the same time. And he also went on to say that online education provides the option as it can be completed anytime and anywhere. That is one of the biggest benefits of online classes for students, because the class time can be completed at any time and anywhere. They do not just have to be in the classroom. And then it said the real-time monitoring and student process success. It says that online education leverage a web-based curriculum that tracks the progress and success using high-touch methods, instantly illustrating what work was done, what information you know as a result, and what you still need to learn.
The person can take the opportunity to graduate in time with their peers and
in traditional school, time is fixed and learning is valuable. Whereas in the online classes, the flexible web-based curriculum offered through online education has flipped this data approach, making learning fixed times and variable to meet the specific need of each
when you're dealing with an online class.
And that's one of the biggest reasons why.
But
some K through 12 schools should encourage and produce online classes because it's all about the kids. If we can give them a flexibility so that they're able to do their time and let them work at their own pace, we will get more.
And then it says that since online class is more flexible,
because when they're working at their own pace, it is a sense of this belongs to me, and if I don't do it, I don't graduate. We're giving them a sense of responsibility, and that's what most of them need, a sense of responsibility, and that's what the online school does for
online classes. The person must be very disciplined, and many people find that they simply cannot succeed without a strict environment, a traditional classroom.
And I will myself,
and
I will
encourage
that online schooling
can be much harder for those
K through 12.
That more traditional classroom is because
high school students.
The reason is that these classes require more technology than those in the when we offer the online class for them, I will offer them only certain classes that way because the parents is going to help them. But with our high school age students, I say 7th grade on up. Yes, it is. I would recommend that the schools choose online class and encourage to produce the online classes because it gives them that.
So let's see.
Benefit that they can work at their own pace. It gives them the flexible time.
Most of the disadvantages
they can do their work at their own place, and it lets them schedule their own time in case some of them have a job or whatever. But one of the biggest benefits,
it is more disadvantages.
Why I will encourage or produce online classes for their schools is because it is a cost saving to the school system. The school system will not have to buy the books because they can put everything. The teacher can put everything online. They don't have to worry about getting these kids all these books. And nowadays, most classes now does not have enough books for their kids to learn off of, and that's bad because some school system just does not have the money that it takes to buy enough books for each one of their kids, each one of their students to have. And then this online,
one of the biggest disadvantages,
it does. It drives down the cost of education while they're still learning online. So
choose not to encourage to produce
that's one of the biggest reasons
for their students is that the students may not
technology
have the
is out there and it is available for us
that they need,
and that could be we need to take advantage of what's out there, and it's not going to cost the school systems a whole lot of money. Because they're able to save money
another
by using
is the reason why
the technology that we have already incorporated online for those different schools. So I would encourage our schools K-12 to produce online courses for their students.
Well, as a teacher,
like I said before, kindergartners start them off with 1 or 2 classes. But as the students get up, offer more classes online.
K-12.
So that is the end of my discussion for today. I hope that you have enjoyed listening to me.
Is that most of the teachers
and I will be back with another discussion later on to
online, and they
talk
are
about
the
online classes.
I hope you have enjoyed my discussion
evening
of why K-12 schools do not choose to encourage or produce online classes for their students. And good evening.